What's up, everyone? Yeah! We got ourselves today a Q&A and a video. That's right. That's right. Welcome everybody to another Q&A. This time we'll be doing a regular Q&A where I answer your goddamn questions. But also we have a video. We haven't done a full video in a long time. One of those, the most or the best this or that on every console. That's going to be featured and edited on my YouTube channel. That's right. So if you'd rather wait for that version, it will be uploaded soon on my YouTube channel. This very same channel. Anyway, I explained all of that and no one's watching right now. Except like 10 people. I'll explain again over and over as many times as I have to. Yeah, that's right. What's up, everyone? So, I mean, for those who are like clever enough to read the title, most people aren't. But for the people who are, you know, I'm sure they'll be asking about it, so I'll explain later. But for the people watching these like on YouTube, later on the Q&A playlist, that's right, we got a video. What's up, guys? YouTube is not as bad as Twitch, you know. It's still not as bad as Twitch when it comes to notifying people or starting. Like I click go live, you know, and it has to elapse, like 1 entire minute has to elapse before I see people in the chat. 1 minute. But in Twitch, it's like fucking 10 minutes. It's like 5 minutes. What's up, guys? How am I? I'm pretty excited today because we're going to do a video together. Yeah! You can continue cringing right now. You can start cringing. We're gonna do a video. What kind of video? I'll let you know. Stick around. If you want to participate in the video, it's not gonna be a versus episode. It's gonna be a big video, like the ones we've done in the past, but we haven't done one in a while. So I thought, well, it's the first Q&A of December, Christmas month, the last month of the year. It's only due to make a fucking video. But first, you know, let me answer your goddamn questions. A video making indie JRPGs? I don't know. You let me know. We're not doing that today. It's not gonna be about indie RPGs, but I don't see any reason why we shouldn't do one of these days a video on indie RPGs. Though I already did one, kinda. It was a top 10 hidden gems, uploaded a few weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago. Check it out if you haven't. Fuga Melodies of Steel, that's a great game. There's 2 games. I'm guessing the new one will be released next year. Because when the first one was announced and even released, the company, the developer, CyberConnect 2, they told us it was going to be a trilogy, that they were planning to do a trilogy. I was in touch with the director for a while, the director of the game. He personally sent a review code to me years ago when the first game came out. Turned out to be amazing. It surpassed my expectations, you know, really good game, extremely unique. And the sequel did not disappoint, it was just as good. It had some spikes here and there, and some stuff with the story that I can't say because that will be a spoiler, but it got fixed at the end. So yeah, the first 2 games definitely recommended, and let's see what happens in the third game. It's gonna be, I don't know, it's probably going to have a different feel to it because the director is no longer working for the company. I don't know what's gonna happen with Fuga 3. If it ever gets released, I'm guessing it will. But yeah, director's gone. He delivered 2 amazing games, but he's not gonna be working on the third one. So who knows what's gonna happen, how different it's gonna be. We'll see. Oh, you had time changed. When? Like this weekend or last weekend? Yeah, our previous president removed that. You know, Mexico is no longer, well, most of Mexico, you know, there are still some states like up north that still change time, but we don't, the rest of the country does not change time anymore. And it's been that way for several years now. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's earlier for some of you or later for some of you. Thank you, Nate. No, I won't be playing that game. I've answered that question before. Did you ever beat Grow Lancer 6? Yeah, actually, I just beat it and I just talked about it about a month ago. I did a video called Top 10 Best Fan-Translated RPGs I played. And I reviewed Grow Lancer 6 in that game. I beat the game about a month ago. So yeah, amazing game. Watch that video for all of my thoughts. Oh, the director is in Platinum Games? I didn't know that. Oh yeah, I did actually. He reached out to me saying goodbye, that he will be no longer working for CyberConnect 2. And yeah, he mentioned something about being on Platinum Games, and I told him, well, if you ever get review codes from Platinum Games, let me know. But what is he gonna do there? I don't know what's he gonna do. He may have mentioned it when I asked him, but I don't remember. It was a long time ago. That was like a year and a half ago. Because he sent me the review code for Fuga Melodies of Steel 2 personally, but that's in the same email he said like goodbye, like I'm done with CyberConnect 2, fuck those guys. No, he didn't say that. But yeah, he mentioned he was gonna work for Platinum Games, but I don't know which role or in what games. I don't know. No, Nate Esquega has been a member for 31 months. It doesn't mean he subscribed for 31 months. Like, I'm pretty sure that means it's like Twitch, you know, he's being a member for 31 months. We need more Digimon games? Do we? Really? I don't know, I don't really follow Digimon. But thank goodness you didn't say Pokemon. Like, do we need more fucking Pokemon games? Do we? Man. What makes you think we need more Digimon games? Like, I'm not a fan of the series. I liked Survive, the one no one liked. Maybe that's why I liked it, because it's not really a Digimon game. Doesn't feel like a Digimon game to most people. So of course I love the fuck out of it. All the others that I've played do feel like Digimon games, and I don't like them. I don't care about them. Like, what makes you say we need more Digimon games? Why? Don't we get like 2 or 3 per year? You're thinking of getting into what? The Legend of Heroes series? What's that? Is that like a crossover? Like between several heroes? Like Marvel heroes? The Legend of Heroes, like the Legends of Batman, Superman, you know, Wonder Woman, like Flash, Spider-Man. What's that? Isn't it like something similar to World Heroes? There's a couple of fighting games, you know, called World Heroes on the Super Nintendo. Is that the same? Because I've honestly never heard of these The Legend of Heroes series. I don't know what that is, man. Is that even a JRPG series? Come on. It's probably a bunch of fighting games, man. Thank you, Aristos. Glad you enjoyed the podcast. That was my longest episode so far. So much to say about that game. You know, if I really wanted to, I could make like 2 or 3 hour long podcasts based on certain JRPGs, man. Valkyrie Profile 2 could have been like a 3 hour long podcast, no problem, but yeah, too long. It's gonna be like it's gonna feel like I'm overworking. And for what? For 1,000 views? 2,000 views? Nah. Can you give me 3 recommendations for classic turn-based JRPG games on Switch? Anything comes to mind? Except the obvious ones such as Final Fantasy. Well, my man, there's like a million videos that I've done on that. I released a video called Top 100 Best Turn-based JRPGs of all time. Go check that out. But if you're taking out the obvious ones, I have one for you. I Am Setsuna. It's really good. And it's classic. You know, it's not like a modernized version of whatever. No, I Am Setsuna is a love letter to classic JRPGs. So it's classic, it's turn-based, and it's on Switch. You know, it fits your bill, man. It fits your standards. I Am Setsuna. Yeah, it's a great one. Happy Thanksgiving to you too, Kevin. We don't celebrate that in Mexico. It doesn't exist, but happy Thanksgiving to you too. The Trails series, like Trails to Azure, Trails of Cold Steel. What are you talking about? Weren't you asking about The Legend of Heroes? Never heard of that. Trails? The hell is that, man? Please enlighten me. I don't know what that is. I'm a fan of The Witcher 3. The game. Yeah. I found it pretty boring. You shouldn't have traded the game, man. I spoke about this before, and I have a clip talking about it that I'm uploading tomorrow on my second channel. You should have waited. That's an incredible game. It's fucking great. But it starts off pretty boring and slow. I went through the same thing, man. The same. I just told my story. I'm not gonna repeat myself. Wait for the clip tomorrow. But yeah, you shouldn't have traded the game. Well, how much does it go for nowadays? Isn't it like a $20 game? You can get it back, right? Yeah. It's not like, oh, I found, you know, Vandal Hearts boring and I traded the game. Like, that's a $70 game, man. But The Witcher 3 is like, just get it back. Yeah, I'm a fan. Fuga and Metal Slug Tactics will be a hell of a versus episode in the near future. No, why would I do that? Fuga is nothing like Metal Slug Tactics. Now that I have 53 people watching, most of you, I think the large majority of you didn't read the title. You just saw, yeah, okay, I do that on purpose. We have a video today. We're going to do a video, so stick around. We're making a video. We haven't done a video in a long time. One of those that the best or the that whatever, you know, on every console, and you get to participate and I get to read your picks. So there's not gonna be a versus episode today. Instead, it's a fucking video. You know, a long fucking video. One of those. Stick around, we're doing a video. Are you planning to play the new... Nah. Fuck the Dragon Quest remakes. Fuck all of them. No, I'm serious. No, it's not about waifus, man. YouTube is still snowflake YouTube. Videos about waifus will probably get demonetized. Are you mad with Falom or something? Falom? What? Oh, you retracted the message? Well, I read it, Anthony. Too late, man. I saw what you wrote. How dare you? Thank you for deleting that. Why would I be mad with Falcom? What happened with Falcom? Will you be playing Romancing Saga 2? Nah. Your favorite woke YouTuber, yeah, me of all. You probably mean anti-woke. Seems like he's mad. The only reason why you haven't been blocked from this channel, JA, is because sometimes you do super chats and sometimes you're funny. But you should be. Be grateful I don't have a mod. What happened with Falcom? I'm mad at Falcom? What happened? Fuck happened? Don't tell me Falcom wasn't woke. Well, they kinda always have been, you know. A little bit since the beginning. Well, apart from that, what the fuck happened with Falcom? What makes you guys think that I'm mad? Falcom, what the fuck? Did I miss something? Something happened? You guys know me, I don't pay attention to the news. You guys are my news! You know, I don't give a shit. Well, I do pay attention to some news, you know. Sometimes, you know, I see things out there. You know, and I'm like, oh, something happened, you know, oh, this. But sometimes it's like, hey, last weekend somebody asked me about Kadokawa Games being bought by Sony or something, and I was like, none the wiser. I was like, what the fuck? What? You know, go, yeah. You should get mods when your channel starts growing more. It's probably never going to start growing more unless something is done about censorship and free speech in this fucking website. Eric is definitely not mad at Falcom. Okay, thanks. Yes, I am! No, I'm not. I don't know what the hell happened. Can you even have mods on YouTube? Yeah, you can assign people on YouTube, you know. It's too fucking loud. Come on, people. Say when the music is too loud. Blade Dancer. Blade Dancer, you're a bad game, man. You can be as loud as you can with the music. I'm never going to like you or accept you or respect you. You are a terrible fucking game. Thank God that's over. Now let's move on to some White Knight Chronicles 2. Make me a mod. No. No mods. I can do everything myself. And it's not like I have like, dude, I have 52 people watching, man. Imagine if I ever get to like 1,000 people watching, then maybe I'll assign a mod. But I don't need one. Nah, Falcom would probably never do something that horrible tier. The Falcom is Falcom. They're not Ubisoft. Okay, they're not. Did you hear that there is some kind of big disagreement between Sony and I already talked about that last weekend, and I just mentioned that like 5 seconds. It's like I mentioned that and all of a sudden I summoned you, Tyson. I mentioned that and as soon as I was done with that topic, you join in. Welcome. Can you recommend a budget-friendly handheld system that can play PS2 RPGs? I don't think there is a single handheld in existence with the exception of the Steam Deck that can play PS2 RPGs. The PS Vita can't. And what else is there? Well, maybe there's one of those a million third-party handhelds that I don't know about. Anybody? Can anybody recommend Brian here a system that plays a portable system that plays PS2 RPGs? I don't. I only know about Steam Deck, but that's not really a budget friendly, you know. I think it goes. How much does it go for nowadays? How much is a Steam Deck nowadays? Isn't it like 100 and something or 200? Like probably more, right? Probably more. Are you sure about that, Athis? I don't think the PS Vita emulates PS2 games, and if it does, it's just some of them, you know. But I don't know, man. I don't think the PS Vita can handle your phone. There we go. That's your answer, Brian. A phone. Your phone. Your own damn phone. Your own damn phone. Some fucking douchebag. Anyway, I love having neighbors. Can you send me the pictures you used on your all SNES RPGs compilation? One was Zelda. Can I send you that? How? Or link them? I have them in my computer, man. I don't have the links to them. Some of them are AI. I think. Still no plans on buying a Steam Deck. Not at the moment. I'm getting a new computer. in the near future, so I'd rather have that. You live in a flat or your own house? My own damn house! Well, you know how it is, man. You own the house, but in reality the bank owns the house and you're paying them. And it's called a mortgage, and it lasts for 1,000,000 fucking years. So I own nothing. They just make you believe you own it. You don't own it 100% until you stop paying it. If I stop paying it, you know, they take the house away, right? So it's not mine. Fucking banks. Banks and the medicine business. The most evil motherfuckers on planet Earth. Banks and the pharmaceutical business. Medicine. The medical world. The most super off, like, that's evil, man. That's fucking evil. And then there's Sweet Baby. If you want a decent handheld, you can play PS2 games. There is a Anbernic RG556. Well, there you go, another recommendation. Insurance companies are evil as well. Yeah, very evil. Insurance, especially the medical insurance, but that's connected to medical, so it's the whole medical world, you know, medicine, all of it, every single branch you can imagine, you know, that's the true evil of the world. Yeah, but the Switch cannot emulate PS2. Brian was asking about PS2 emulation, so the Switch can't emulate PS2. But it's got some remasters from all PS2 games, so there you go. Taylor Sophie. The best portable machine is your notebook. I have a notebook. I have a laptop right now. It needs an upgrade, so I'm getting something new soon. We're gonna do a video today, people. Have you heard of the Playdate? The only competitor to the Steam Deck? Never heard of it. Argentina? Never. I don't have enough money to go there, man. Will you play Atelier Yumiya? I don't know. Like, probably at some point I will. Not on launch though. I don't play anything on launch. Did you know that Sony plans to develop a new handheld system that's a successor to the Vita? Yeah, we've heard that for years. There's been rumors about that for years, but nothing's been confirmed, you know. We still don't know anything. Well, a Steam Deck is a computer. It's more about... Yeah, I think it's different from the Switch. What makes you think it's a failed competitor? Well, in terms of sales, I mean, the Steam Deck has been out for a few years only. I mean, give it some time. The Switch has been almost 8 years since its release. But yeah. Do you like getting trophies in games? No, really, I couldn't care less. You know, all I want to do is play games and have fun with them and enjoy them. I don't really care about completing them, like 100% them, or like getting trophies, or like, you know, putting hundreds of hours into them, and I don't give a shit about that. I have so many fucking games to play, I just don't have time. Even if I like that, I still wouldn't do it, you know. I don't have time. Are you gonna buy the Switch too? Probably at some point, when it's like $300 or less in like 5 years. You don't care about GameCube? Really? Well, you're missing out, bro! It's got so many fucking great games. It's your loss, you're missing out. SNES and PS2 best consoles ever released. They don't hold a candle to the Philips CDI, man. Those fucking consoles are trash compared to Philips CDI, Atari Jaguar, and the marvelous, incomparable, supremely efficient 3DO. Those are the best fucking games out there. Fucking consoles. What's your playtime with your PS5? I have no idea, Yum Yum. There's a way to know. I mean, I've owned a PS5 for like 14 months. Playtime with your PS5? Like, I don't know, what? That's a weird question. People usually ask, what's your playtime on this or that game? Well, your playtime with a console? Yum. What? No Neo Geo. Neo Geo? That's for losers, man. 3DO. Virtual Boy, another thank you tier. How could I forget about... I apologize, everybody. That's blasphemy. Forgetting about the Virtual Boy, that's blasphemy. Best fucking console. I mean, dude, I still think the 3DO is better, or the Philips CDI. You know, the Virtual Boy is like number 3. That's the top 3. Neo Geo. You get the fuck. 32X is in the top 5. Any light novels that I would recommend? That's a good one. Read that. It's called Seven Shadows. You look it up on Amazon. Type the name of the author. This guy called Erick Landon. That's a great fucking book, a light novel. Check it out. I've answered that question before, John. What RPG story has struck a chord with me the most? Well, wait a second. I feel like I've answered something similar. Or, like, what does that mean? Before I answer something stupid. Struck a chord. What does that mean? Because I know the expression struck a nerve. You know, like the game pissed me off, right? But struck a chord is like the opposite. Influenced you the most. Oh, then Chrono Cross. I doubt anything you write is light. Yeah, but... Thanks, man. Yeah, everything I write is fucking dark. But light novels are like, you know what they are. That was a good joke. Thanks again, J.A. I just beat East 10 as well. Like, dude, like a week ago, less than a week ago. And I already wrote my review of it. I'll be reviewing that game soon in an upcoming video. East 10. I'm not gonna share my opinion. But I just beat it too. What's the most important aspect in an RPG game for you? Another question I've answered a million times. But I haven't answered that question in years, man. I made a whole topic about that. There's like 1 or 2 videos on this channel about that. So just real quick, I'll say that probably the gameplay mechanics. It used to be the story, but nowadays it's kind of like the gameplay mechanics. I don't know what the hell you're talking about, Mari. Space Rangers. Yum. Same here, very good game. East 10 feels like a Sword Art Online. Yum, I just don't know, man. Sometimes I don't know if you're trolling or being serious. Like, I honestly can't tell. You've been a fan for years. But sometimes you make these comments and they're like, what? I can't tell if you're trolling, man. I mean, there are some good Sword Art Online games, but Sword Art Online is like a franchise, it has a reputation for being extremely generic. Okay, thanks for letting us know, Fantonium. Like, the more we learn about that fucking company, the better. You know, no one cares about that fucking company. Why is there so much hype for Fantasian? Yeah, I don't know. Probably because it's a Hironobu Sakaguchi game that he made a few years ago, exclusive to Apple devices like phones, you know? Now it's coming to consoles. So maybe that's why it's a big deal, I don't know. I don't follow hypes or news on RPGs or JRPGs, like I don't give shit. All of the YouTube content that I watch has nothing to do with JRPGs. 70-something people watching. Stick around, people. We're doing a video in like half an hour or more. We're gonna do a video together. It's not gonna be a versus episode. It's a full fucking fledged video. An awesome fucking badass video. Stick around for the video. Top 10 JRPGs on the Amico. I have no. East 10. Thank you, Yum Yum. Feels like Sword Art Online because the voice actors are the same. Well, I play everything in Japanese nowadays. Oh, thanks, Newcom. Thanks a bunch, man. Do you mean the Japanese voice actors? Because I stopped playing games in English a long time ago. You're welcome, Red Miller. Glad you're a fan of the podcast. That's, thank the patrons here, man. Thank the people who fund the podcast. Otherwise, it will be like exclusive to Patreon. Yeah. But I'm glad you're a fan of the series. It's a fun series. Oh, thanks, Newcom. Yeah, I'm about to get one. I said that I will make my decision today about what kind of PC and the parts and shit. So yeah, and tomorrow's Cyber Monday, you know. So I'll probably start buying shit tomorrow. Thanks a bunch. That will definitely come in handy. Any good JRPGs on the 3DS you recommend? Well, Vicente, I have like 10, 12 videos with nothing but 3DS JRPG recommendations. Check them out. Favorite non-RPG game? Super Mario World, probably. I know it's a cliche answer. I know it's like, oh, I was expecting something obscure as fuck like Spectral versus Generations, you know, that, or Ikitosen. But no, it's Super Mario World. What can I say? But, you know... others that are like pretty damn close. Like, dude, I beat this game less than a month ago. And I'm already like a die-hard fan of it. It's called Yakuza 0. Like, I fucking love it, man. I think it's become one of my top 5 favorite games of all time. But that's too soon to tell, right? I've only beaten the game. The game's been with me for like 3 weeks, okay? And whereas Super Mario World has been with me since I was like fucking 10 years old. So yeah, Super Mario World. I'm a grumpy old man. Yes, I am. I'm an old man. I'm an old man according to Japanese anime standards. Really fucking old. You know how if you're 20-something in an anime or a JRPG, you're super old? I'm 39 years old. Ooh. Can you see the gray hairs? No, you can't see them because I dye my hair in black. Thanks again, Yum Yum. So, Super Mario World, I also really like A Plague Tale: Innocence. Requiem was awesome, but it had some problems, so I wouldn't put that in my top 10, but A Plague Tale, Requiem, the Persona 4 Arena fighting games, love the shit out of those. I become a die-hard of the Ikitosen games, beat 'em up games on PSP. Amazing games. What else? I love Alice Madness Returns. I'm a die-hard fan of Little Nightmares. I could go on, man. I could make a top 25 at least, you know, favorite non-RPG games. What games are you planning to buy soon? Not a single one of them, Yum Yum. I was seeing that, you know, Star Ocean, the second story R, was on sale for Black Friday for like $20. And I don't have a physical version of that game. I have it digital, not physical. And I want to own that. But I'm like, dude, I'm getting a new computer soon. And I really want a good fucking computer. Not a fucking $300 laptop or computer, you know? No. Like, I'm serious this time around. Sure, I'm not going to get like a fucking $2,000 computer. No. Right? But unfortunately, I won't be able to buy any new games this year. Probably next one. But I'm okay, you know, once I get the new PC, and I'm sure you guys have been waiting for this moment, I'll start getting into Steam games and emulate more. I'll start emulating Sega Saturn, Dreamcast, more PS2, maybe PS3. Oh, man, I can't fucking wait. Anyway, I missed some questions, so I'm your favorite RPG YouTuber. Yeah, I'm a grumpy old man. That's all I do. Yell at clouds. Are you playing the other Yakuza games? Eventually, yeah. Every single one of them. But I don't want to play them like immediately, you know, like I'm trying to leave some space. Plus, I need to play other games, you know. Remember, you know, this is a YouTube. I still make videos, you know. I need to go back to playing JRPGs every now and then so I can talk about them. That's what I do for a living. But yeah, at some point. And even if this wasn't my job, I still wouldn't play all the Yakuza games in a row. I will probably burn out. Like, I'm going to play some games in between, you know. But I'm playing Yakuza 2 when I get the chance. Have you played Hellblade 1? Yeah, a long time ago. That was a fun game. Really fucking hard. Historically inaccurate, you know, but it's a fantasy game, so it's good. I liked it. I haven't played the sequel, but the first one was really, really good, but really fucking hard. Are you finished playing all the SNES games? Yeah. Today I'll be uploading in a couple of hours the last part to my second channel on YouTube. You'll probably see it there. But yeah, I was done with the streams. I finished playing all the SNES games about like 3 weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago. The streams you're seeing on YouTube on my second channel are like re-uploads from those Twitch streams, you know. So I've been done in a while. So do I find any new good JRPGs? Not sure what you're trying to ask. We new to me? Or like new, like they came out this year or something? How's the story about 500 JRPGs? Well, didn't you watch the video? The whole story and the explanation is in that video. 1,000? I don't think I'll get to 1,000, man. I don't think so. Maybe someday, maybe in like 5 years. I don't know. Someday. Princess Minerva. What about Princess Minerva? It's a great fucking game. Ikitusen games are games for the men of culture. Just like Princess Minerva, actually. I'll play the fucking game. Thank you, Christian Bonilla. You definitely want an AM5 CPU. Oh, thanks, man. Discussion Gamer was resurrected. Yeah, but we haven't uploaded a video in a while. It's just Oscar. Oscar is helping me, you know, buy a new computer because he's very knowledgeable about this and he already set up, you know, all the parts that I'll need, you know. So we've been busy with that. And we talked about Discussion Gamer a couple of days ago. I told him, hey, we haven't like done a video in a while, so maybe soon, you know, we'll definitely put out something before the year ends. Which Sword Art Online game is the best in your opinion? Look, I haven't played most of them. I've only played like 2 or 3, you know, and I really liked Last Recollection, especially because of the combat. Story-wise, I couldn't understand anything, you know, because all of those games are like the Trails games. They're all connected, takes place in the same universe. You play one and it's like, oh no, I'm being spoiled, I need to go back and play them all from the beginning. It's like that, right? But Last Recollection in terms of like combat was fucking awesome, man. In everything else, it's just average. Music, graphics, gameplay mechanics is like, it's just an average game, you know. But the combat alone, it's fucking great. Not as great as Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, which has one of the best action RPG combats of all time that I've seen. But it's also like that. Like in terms of story, graphics, it's like okay, you know. But to be honest, you're asking the wrong person. Not really a fan of Sword Art Online. Will you play Xenoblade X? Sure, once I get my hands on it. But it'll be a while before I get that game. I think it's more likely that I'll get a Wii U or a new computer that can maybe emulate Wii U games. I don't think so, but if it can, great. You know, and I'll play the original version. But the remaster, sure, I'm up for it. But I'm not gonna pay $60 fucking for it, you know, it's just no. Do you like turn-based RPGs or action RPGs better? Turn-based. 9 out of 10 times. There's always that one exception, you know, but 9 out of 10 times turn-based. Fractured Daydream. That's the new one, isn't it? I haven't played it. Did you play Princess Crown? I haven't played the fan translation. I know it was fan translated recently. I played the PSP port, which is basically a remaster of the Sega Saturn version, but it was in Japanese and I couldn't understand anything, and I played it for like half an hour and I got lost and I gave up. Have I played Grow Lancer? Never heard of that. What's that? Do you grow lancers? Is it a lancer simulator? Like a spear simulator? That sounds awesome, man. Grow Lancer. That sounds fucking awesome, man. I haven't played it. Never heard of those games. Game. Sorry, I'm assuming it's just one, right? Yes, it's worth it. Grandia HD Remaster, it's worth it, man, yeah. I can vouch for it. But I can vouch for the PS5 version and the Switch version. I don't know about the Steam version. Haven't played it. I don't know if it's got some issues. Do your research. But the games are fucking awesome, especially the second one. Such an awesome game, man. Yeah, it's worth it. Oh, on Steam. Okay, so there you go. I don't know. I didn't play the Steam versions. I don't know if there are, like, problems, you know. I don't know. I can vouch for the PS5 version, you know. PS4 version. Great. But it's the first one has some frame rate issues. But the second one is like great. You have no consoles. Oh, look at here, Ruslan RP Gacha. PC Master Raise. I have no cons. I have no need for that. I have my $4,000 PC. Suck my dick. A broken PS3. Well, you should fix it. I have a broken PS3 controller and it needs fixing. 90 people watching. Welcome everybody. We're doing a video today, soon in like 25 minutes. Okay? Stick around. Do you grow lancers? Yeah. I grow mine, you know, I have a huge fucking lance already. I grow it every now and then. Have you seen the Final Fantasy V anime on VHS? No, I didn't know there was an anime based on that game. I've seen Advent Children, and that's an okay movie. It isn't great. It's just okay. You gotta be like a really die-hard Final Fantasy VII fan to really appreciate Advent Children. You know, I watched the movie and I was like, the game's better. Is Chrono Cross a prequel or sequel to Trigger? I think it's a bit of both, but it's more likely a sequel, you know? But not a direct one. It's like a different universe, you know, a different dimension and shit. I've been saying this for years, man. Just play Cross and forget about Trigger, you know? Treat Cross as its own game. That's the best way to appreciate Chrono Cross. It's not Chrono Trigger 2. Called Final Fantasy Legend of the Crystals. Thanks, Terry. I didn't know there was an anime based on fucking Final Fantasy V. That's crazy, man. I mean, of all the Final Fantasy games that will get an anime, why 5? Isn't that weird? Like, now I'm like, I mean, why? I mean, sure, Final Fantasy VII got a crap ton of things, like Advent Children and whatnot, so let's leave that aside, but why not an anime based on something more successful like Final Fantasy VI, or 4, or 9? Wait, 9, wasn't it getting an animation? No? Was it cancelled? Like, I need my newspaper, man. I'm an old man. I'm a grumpy old man. Remember that? I'm a grumpy old man. I yell at clouds. I read the newspaper. I don't watch the fucking news on these things, the computers, or these rectangle fucking devices, you know? I'm an old man. I read the newspaper. Should Japanese games be published only by Japanese companies to avoid Western influence? Yes! Yes, they should, man. Apparently it was cancelled. The Final Fantasy IX? Oh, animation? Okay. I believe the Final Fantasy V anime is a sequel to the game. I didn't know that. You will be surprised to know that I'm a fan of Faris. You're gonna be like, you, a fan of that character? Yeah, I thought she was cool, you know. Do you even smoke the lancers you grow? I smoke nothing. Never. Oh, that's what you were trying to ask, Anthony, a while back. Are there any SNES JRPGs that you might not know? Aren't you asking about Super Famicom JRPGs though? Because all the SNES JRPGs, I just made a compilation of those, all of them, including the Western ones. There were no European exclusives like Terranigma, you know, but all the JRPGs that were released in North America, I just made a compilation of that like, what was it, like a week ago? You probably missed it, but that's okay. It's like a fucking 5-hour long compilation. I don't blame you if you missed it. But it's there, you know, if you want to watch it. Just watch those videos on parts, you know. I mean, if you want to sit around, if you want to sit down for like 4 hours and 45 minutes, you know, that's up to you. Great. Thank you for that. But it's best if you watch those long-ass compilations by parts, you know, that's what most people do. Yuvin Santos, unfortunately, that's the truth. So, yeah, anyway, we can play. I mean, I'm going to stick to my backlog. Fuck modern games. But yeah, Anthony, there's a lot of Super Famicom JRPGs that may or may not be fan-translated that I don't know about. I'm more acquainted with PS2 or PSP, you know. I know a crap ton of JRPGs, including the ones that never left Japan in those consoles, you know. But yeah, Super Nintendo, I'm knowledgeable, but not that knowledgeable. What English localized SNES JRPG do you think has the worst box art? I'll show it to you, man. It's a meme. Is that ugly enough for you? Yep. Look at that. Oh yeah, I missed out on No 9, sure. Actually, Rosland, I did give a chance to some of them, but remember the video was edited. You know, originally it was going to be like a 7-hour long video, and I was like, now I gotta cut some parts out. Like, take Princess Minerva for example. I played that for like 45 minutes, so I had to like cut down a lot of it. Right? And there were some games that took forever to start, like New Horizons. Dude, I put like 15 minutes of it and it was nothing but dialogue and town exploration, you know. I never even got to the battle system. But in reality, in the actual stream, I played it for like almost like 40 minutes, you know. So I had to cut down some of them. Still, all of the streams are now available on my second channel. So if you want to watch the unedited versions, you can watch them there. They're on my second channel, all of them, every single one of them. Okay, so yeah. And also, keep in mind that I was playing all Super Nintendo games. And I did that compilation on my Twitch channel. There's a link to my Twitch channel in the description, everybody. I stream very often on Twitch. I stream way more on Twitch. I mean, I'm barely streaming on YouTube, like regular games. And I'm also starting to do some Q&As on Twitch every now and then. No, the Q&As here on YouTube are not going anywhere. Don't worry about that. But the Q&As on Twitch are a little bit different, so yeah. Link to my Twitch channel in the description. So, yeah, the whole point, Rosland, was to play all games for a few minutes only. So, of course, I didn't give a chance to some RPGs. Like, hell, dude, like, Super Mario RPG didn't even work. I played the game for like 1 minute. Imagine that you didn't give Super Mario RPG a chance. Why? It's a fucking terrible game, man. Like, that game is in my childhood, man. Twitch or YouTube? Discord or Facebook? Discord or Facebook can both kiss my ass, man. Twitch or YouTube, unfortunately, they're necessary evils for me. So, when it comes to streaming, Twitch. When it comes to making videos, YouTube. Does that work for you? I'm a big fan of Elfen Lied. It's not Lied. It's Elfen Lied. I love that anime. I love Lucy. Not only for men of culture reasons, but also I just love her personality, her multiple personality issue, you know, how she goes 180. Like a stupid dumbass girl, you know, from super like tsundere, you know. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Elfen Lied. Love it. I watched that anime when it came out, and it was the talk of everybody. It's become basically a forgotten anime nowadays. I don't know why, no one talks about it. People still talk about animes from that era, you know, like Death Note. Death Note is something people still talk about, but Elfen Lied was just as popular back then, and nowadays no one talks about it. But yeah, I'm a big fan. Great fucking anime. Great fucking anime. I love it. And you gotta love Lucy, man. Not just because of the fan service. I know that's the reason most people are gonna watch it. And yes, like she's like perfect. Like most anime girls, right? She's perfect fucking body. But, and yeah, you get to see the full thing. It's not a hentai anime, but it's like an ecchi anime. You can see the nipples and all that jazz, you know, but really the story, her personality, it's just a fuck. Even if the anime had no fan service whatsoever, you know, I will still fucking love it. It's awesome. Look at me nerding out on Elfen Lied. What games you regret selling? Oh, I regret selling a lot of them, but the question is, are you planning to rebuy them back? Man, that's a hard question because I'll be honest, man. Most of the RPGs that I sold years ago, I regret selling them, but I have no plans to get them back because they become so fucking expensive, you know, like at least $60 each. Like my Artonelico 1 and 2, Manakemia 2, Shadow Hearts 3. Well, Shadow Hearts 3 isn't that expensive. How much does it go for nowadays? Shadow Hearts from the New World. Because I have the other two, fortunately, which are more expensive. This is... No! Forget it, $71? And that's price charting, which means most retail stores, most retro stores probably sell it for like $80. That I'm no way, no. So that, yeah, that, man. What else? Tales of Eternia on PSP, you know, but like I can give you examples of games that I regret selling, but I'm not planning on buying them again unless I see them for a laughable price, right? But games, you know, they're like, oh, I regret selling this and I'm getting it back, no matter the cost. Eco? Maybe. I don't have Eco on PS2. For some stupid reason, I sold that game a long time ago. I had it. Oh, I think I remember why I sold it. Because back then it was fucking expensive. I think I sold that game for like $35, you know? But that was like many years ago when $35 was basically the equivalent of like 50 something nowadays, 60, you know? So yeah. And then it went down in price because of the PS3 remastered version, which I also don't have, you know. So that, yeah, Eco on PS2 or PS3, you know, I can settle for either version, you know. I will like to own that, either version. I don't care about the version though. Well, I guess I the one that I beat is PS2 version, so maybe that's the one that I should get back. And I don't think it's expensive yet, right? How much does it go for nowadays? Really? I mean, it's probably still like a $20, $30 game. Hopefully. So there you go. That's one. But it's so hard, man, like getting a game back that I sold and I regret it. They're all expensive as fuck. Dude, I have Persona 2 Innocent Sin on PSP, the special edition with the soundtrack that goes for like incredible fucking prices nowadays. I sold that like 10 years ago for like $25. Well, that's what it was going for back then. It was a $30 game. But now I know, yeah, I regret that selling a lot, but I'm not planning on getting it back because it's just, I mean, it's ridiculous, right? Ridiculous. Anyway, Eco and Shadow on the Colossus on PS3 is $15. So there you go. I regret selling my Eco copy, so that's the one that I'll probably get back. That's the only one I can think of right now. Others that I sold and I want back. It's so hard, man. I can't think of another one right now. Mario 3 on NES. Anyway, do you think the Blue Exorcist anime should be the real Final Fantasy 15? What a question. What a weird question. Never in my head would I put or have put like that anime and Final Fantasy 16 together like in the same sentence. It's like saying, do you think Elfen Lied should have been the real Death End Request 2? What? What? These questions, man. What? Why is Blue Exorcist in the same sentence as Final Fantasy 15? What are you talking about? That's so random, man. Ah, okay, now I know. Same studio. Okay. Those are the only things that you have in common? Really? I was like saying, anyway, no, I don't know, man. What the fuck? Oh my god. You just sold a lot of games, didn't you, Yum Yum? What do I think about Exceed games? I'm on the fence of that company. I used to love them because they localized a lot of fucking great games in the past, PS2, PS3 era. You know, if it wasn't for them, we probably never would have gotten Trails of Cold Steel 1 and 2 or Trails in the Sky, you know, Wild Arms 4 and 5. So yeah, I loved that fucking company. But nowadays, I still have a lot of respect for them because they still localize a bunch of games that no one else will probably be willing to localize. So I respect them a lot, but I just don't know about that company, man. It's just, I don't want to talk about Exceed games right now. But I'm still on the fence, you know. I don't have as much respect as I once did, but I still respect them. And I'm glad it's them localizing the Trails in the Sky remake and not Nice America. That I can tell you. Video starting soon. Few more minutes of your goddamn questions, and then we'll do the video. Let me prepare myself. I'm gonna prepare myself for the video, man. Atelier Ryza 2 is pretty pricey, and the third game is pretty cheap. Actually, I don't know how much the third game goes for nowadays, but if you guys see it for like $30, pick it up. I can guarantee you in like 1 year it's gonna be like 50 and it's never gonna come down. But I haven't played the game. It's not like, oh, Eric gave me the green light. I gave you a green light because of the price. I haven't played Atelier Ryza 3. I don't know if it's a good game or not. Do you play Monster Hunter? Nope. Nothing against them, you know. But it's not my... not my cup of tea, to be honest. Are you a fan of Mario Kart? You didn't care for Mario Kart 8? I think Mario Kart 8 is the best one. Especially the deluxe version on Switch. Masterpiece of a game. I love the fucking game. Double Dash is pretty damn good as well, though. Playing Pierre Solar. That's okay, it's a bit slow at the beginning, but it's a good game. I'll finish it one day and review it. Is Trails of Cold Steel worth playing? Yes, all of the Trails games except Daybreak. All of the others are worth playing. Thoughts on Atelier Sophie 2? Let me finish the game. I kind of reviewed in a video. It was called Top 10 Incredibly Overlooked RPGs. I think it's there. Check it out. Sorry if I'm lagging. Dude, like fucking 20 people left. What the fuck? They want no video. Oh, he's gonna do a video? I want him to answer my goddamn questions. Fuck you, Erick. Those guys. I heard there was an anime special that takes place after Dirge of Cerberus and another anime special. Oh, dude. Final Fantasy VII is like its own universe. It's its own media franchise. It's like Persona 5. It's its own corporation. Like there's the Final Fantasy series. That's one thing. And then there's Final Fantasy VII. You know, that's its own fucking... That's the entire universe, you know. A media franchise. Monster Hunter games are JRPGs. I do recognize them as JRPGs. Yeah. Armored Core? No, Armored Core, I'm not sure. I played some of the PS2 games and no RPGs. Is that an Eternal Poison hard copy behind you? No, that's Yggdra Union and Zanki Zero. Eternal Poison is like in the back, in the shelf. If you can see that, you know. Can you see that? That's... Wait, dude. Where did you get those eyes? Jeepers! Creepers! Where did you get those eyes? Final Fantasy VII is just a different timeline. Yeah, even the remake is its own thing, you know? You see what I mean? Opinions on Rebirth. I only played the demo and it was fine. It was alright, you know? I didn't like the DEI bullshit, but at least they kept that to a minimum, you know. But it's fine. Can't say much beyond that. You guys are still going on about Princess Crown. If I get a new computer, I'll stream the game. Estelle Bright, you trying to bait me? They made Tifa a dude? What, in Rebirth? Really? No, I don't think so. She was a woman when I played it, at the demo at least. They made Tifa a dude, come on. Do you think $40 to $48 are okay with the Trail Series physical? Start collecting it for the Switch. Oh yeah, for the Switch? I will pay a little bit less, but it's the Switch we're talking about. If we were talking about the PS4 versions, I would say no. I think you can get them all for like $30, you know, but we're talking about the Switch here, so maybe $40, yeah, it's a good price. But 40 will be my max though. But maybe you and I can disagree on prices, you know. If you're willing to pay that much for them, up to you, right? But I wouldn't pay more than $40 for a Switch game. But the problem with the Trails games is that they're going to go a little bit more expensive and rare in the future. The Switch versions. So, yeah. When it comes to PS4 version, which are superior, I'm a PlayStation Master Race. Well, not anymore because fucking Sony. Come on, Rosland. That's not true. What two RPG franchises will be great to have a crossover? Fire Emblem and Suikoden. I have answered that question before. We're gonna have to get rid of this song. Oh, it's Persona Q. That one I don't think has copyright. We can leave it. Yeah. So most of the Persona games have copyrighted music. You know. I don't know why I added it there. What are your thoughts on the new Shadow Hearts and Wild Arms games coming up? I'm sad to see that Shadow Hearts, the Penny Blood it's called, it has gotten into some problems with Kickstarter. Apparently the company is suing Kickstarter for not paying them the right amount of money or something. You know, it's sad, so that means the game is going to be delayed. Unfortunately. Armed Fantasia, though, seems to be fine. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to those games. The developers reached out to me some time ago, and I interviewed them both. You can find my interviews on my YouTube channels. Did you know that you can fight the behemoth from Final Fantasy in Mario Sport Mix on the Wii? No, I didn't know that. I wonder if there's gonna be a class action lawsuit. There's something's happening there. Well, they're suing them. The Penny Blood developers are suing Kickstarter because of unpaid funds, you know? You know, lawsuits and suing, you know, it's all really complicated. Like, I don't know much about it. More like I don't understand what exactly is going on. But the gist is that Kickstarter didn't pay money to the Penny Blood developers. That's what's happening. But I don't know what. I'm not that very well informed. Ha ha ha. That's a good joke, Terry. Never do Kickstarters for games ever. Well, that's what a lot of people do anyway. You want Fire Emblem and The Legend of Zelda? That could happen because they're both Nintendo IPs. What are you guys talking about? Tifa being a dude? Lara Croft? Like, I know Lara Croft, Netflix turned her into a lesbian. Fuck that, you know, but Phoebe, what? Yeah, check that video. That was a small video, Anthony. Real quick video. I was like, yeah, I don't want to do like a big video yet because I'm still planning on doing that video. Game room tour. Just let me have more things here to show off in the video, and then the collection video is gonna be like a large, you know. But in the meantime, I did like a short, quick tour version of my video game collection. You can check it out. It's there if you want to. It was like an extra video. Did you pick up any JRPGs Black Friday? No, I didn't because what I'm gonna do is pick up computer parts. I'm building a new computer, so yeah, no, I have no money to bake games right now. I need to focus all of my cash on the computer. I've never played a Euden Chronicles Rising, but if it's $2.99 digital. I don't know, maybe? It's $3, man, maybe? But I don't know, Tyson. If you're asking me if it's like woke or anything, I don't know. I haven't played it. It probably is. Maybe just a translation. Knowing these fucking guys. What are the rules for dynamic for today's video? Okay. You guys want to start with the video? I know, Rosland. And I kind of agree. Laptop or desktop? Probably desktop. Last Ranker, I know that game. Okay, that's it. So, we're gonna do a video today, people. We're going to do a video today. You and I. Yeah, you get it? You and I are going to do a video. No, really, we're doing a video. We've done this before. A long time ago. Well, not long ago. Like 2 years ago, like a year ago, we did a couple of them. This year, we did one called The Darkest JRPG on Every Console. We made that video on January or February, I think it was March. You know, it's gonna be like that. The whatever on every console. Okay, so are you guys ready for that? Just give me a moment. Okay. Fucking lightning is like. Alright. I'm gonna have to hide this, you know? Yeah. For the sake of the video. Alright, the audio seems fine. I think we're fine. Alright, so we're good to go. Today we're gonna do a video, and it's going to be called The Most Unique JRPG on Every Console. As always, no indies, no western. Only Japanese games. If you want to throw something Japanese exclusive, that's fine. Only in Japan games are allowed. But I think most of the games in my list are like, they did come out to North America. So yeah, it's gonna be the most unique JRPG on every console. What the hell do I mean by unique? That it's hard to compare to something else. That it's got a unique gameplay mechanics or battle mechanics like no other. Like this freaking game, for example. You know what I mean, right? So that's the video of today, everybody. We're doing a video and we're going to start with the NES. We'll start with the NES. For the NES, I picked a little game nobody knows about and no one talks about. It's called Little Ninja Brothers. And if you take a look at the gameplay of that game, it's basically, not that original. You're probably gonna look at it and say, it's not that, what the hell is this, Eric? But keep in mind, this is an 80s game. It was one of the first of its kind. And it was one of the first RPGs ever to combine action, platforming, and turn-based combat. That's right, and there's also a sequel on the Super Nintendo called Super Ninja Bros. So you control these two characters. Well, you control one character if you're playing on single player, because this game's got multiplayer cooperative mode. But if you're only gonna be playing by yourself, forever alone, you're gonna be controlling one of the brothers in like platforming segments. And then you get into random battles in the overworld, which are like 2D stages, like 2D very small stages. And you can beat the crap out of your enemies in a beat 'em up style of combat. But then guess what? The boss battles are like in turn-based, some of them, not all of them. Some of the major boss battles are in turn-based combat. So you're talking about a game that mixes platforming, platforming segments, and then like regular 2D beat 'em up random battles. And then turn-based combat for the major bosses. That's what I will personally call unique. That was pretty damn unique for the NES era. That's my pick. What about you guys? NES. I don't think Zelda 2 is unique at all. And I don't think that's an RPG, but that's just my opinion. This is RPG. Sky Blazer is not an RPG. Zelda 2 is more of an RPG than Sky Blazer, man. Come on. Does uniquely bad also count? Yes, Tyson. This is about the most unique JRPG on every console. It can be fucking terrible if you want to, as long as it's unique. So yeah, shit. I actually have a couple of bad games in my list. NES. Is Megami Tensei 1 on NES? You mean Digital Devil Story? That's on NES? Yeah, it is. I guess it is. Well, yeah, because you recruit demons. It was one of the first of its kind. It was the first of its kind, so yeah, it counts. Famicom Wars, I've never played it. I don't even know if it's an RPG or not, but okay, I guess it counts. NES isn't on NES. Well, wait, is on NES. It's just never left Japan. The NES version never left Japan. But how is it a unique? It's just adult bumping into. I don't think that's unique, but to each their own. How is Dragon Quest? Moving on to the Super Nintendo. Moving on to the Super Nintendo, I picked Soul Blazer. Why Soul Blazer? Considering it's a top-down action RPG with Zelda-like controls. Well, it's not about the battle mechanics. There's nothing unique about the battle system in Soul Blazer. What's unique about it is that you are basically rebuilding towns, and then you gotta find the souls of the villagers, or the souls or whatever magic thing about the objects, and then you restore town. And that's something that back when this game came out, which was the early 90s, was like really unique. No other game was like it, so I found it to be pretty damn unique and pretty original. Sure, a game like Soul Blazer nowadays will be nothing special, but remember, this game influenced other games like Dark Cloud 1 and 2. So there's a little bit of influence on the Suikoden series by this game. So even though it's an obscure gem like my previous pick on the NES, it's still influential, it's still pretty damn good, it's decent, and basically that, restoring towns, restoring people, and going back to the town and talking to them, it's just, I don't know, it's a pretty unique feature. So that's my pick. What about you guys? SNES, Super Nintendo. JRPGs, no Western. So Paladin's Quest, I see barely anything unique about that game. because of the MP system and HP system, you know, okay, but I don't think that's unique at all. I don't see Evo Search for Eden as an RPG, which is why I didn't feature that game in my Super Nintendo stream. I did play it, but I didn't feature in that because I don't think of that game as an RPG. I have played it before, and I don't think it's an RPG, but I'll give you this. It's a pretty unique video game. Forget about it being an RPG or not, that's a really unique video game, so... Earthbound. Well, Earthbound, yeah, I guess it's unique because of its storytelling. Gameplay and battle mechanics are nothing unique, but, you know, the fact that you're playing a modern setting with these kids, with humor, yeah, okay, I'll give you that. Front mission? Well, because you attack robots and their parts. Okay. Did you really just mention Chrono Trigger? Well, I guess it wasn't unique, but it's revolutionary. I'll give you that. Okay. Moving on to the Nintendo 64, because I didn't pick Ogre Battle in the Super Nintendo, I'm picking it now. Even though it's a different game, okay? This is Ogre Battle, Person of Lordly Caliber, exclusive to the Nintendo 64, and it's just like the one on the Super Nintendo, okay? Gameplay-wise, story-wise, a different game. And it's not a direct sequel or anything. All Ogre Battle games take place in the same universe, but it's like a different game, okay? And like once again, you have a bunch of characters to micromanage, like monsters and regular characters, and you play in real-time maps where you gotta like select a unit, well, more like select a commander, you know, and have them move to other towns to liberate, or stay in the same town, your castle, to protect it, or to go to different areas to fight enemies, you know, until you liberate most towns, or you beat the boss, you know, and liberate the main town or the main castles, you know. However, the battle system is not like that. It's not real-time a la StarCraft. No, sir. It's turn-based combat, but it's out of your direct control. You know, you got this isometric view for the battles, up to like a bunch of monsters and characters, you know, and you don't control them directly. You can use cards, you know, to like do a spell or something, but they fight on their own according to their stats. And you just sit back and watch, you know. But it's really engaging because you can influence the strategy of this battle system, which is cool. That's where the player comes in, and I respect that. You know, I thought that was original. So the game may not be that original nowadays, but keep in mind, it's a game. Games like this influenced modern games like Unicorn Overlord. Right, so Ogre Battle, both games, Super Nintendo game or the 64 games, are just as unique, very unique, and there's, back in the day, there was barely anything like it. So that's the Nintendo 64, and what else is there? What about you guys? Like Quest 64? Yeah, it's bad, but the battle system is a little bit unique. Nowhere near as unique as Ogre Battle, though. Paper Mario, because it's in 2D, and you... Yeah, okay, I get it, Paper Mario, yeah. Yeah, but it's the 64, let's move on. GameCube! You're not gonna be able to guess my GameCube pick. You're not. I know which games you're gonna mention for the GameCube, and I know which RPGs you're gonna say. Oh, that he's probably picking that game. Baten Kaitos, right? No. You cannot find a game, an RPG, a JRPG. Nope. Lost Kingdom, Skies of Arcadia, Paper Mario. Nope. 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 Custom Robo? Yeah, it's an action RPG on the GameCube. I don't know about the others, though. I've only played Custom Robo on the Skies of Arcadia, the tower game. Nope. Nope. That's right, Jay. For the GameCube, I picked Phantasy Star Online Episode 3. What a super damn weird-ass game, and I don't like it. That's the first pick of today of a game that's kind of... It isn't bad. Let's leave it at that. It isn't bad. I just couldn't get into it. Okay? I couldn't get into it. It's just... No, it's just too convoluted. I have no idea what I'm doing. I can't even explain the battle system. This... Look at this. No, it's just no. I don't know what I'm doing. It's sure it's grid-based, and you use cards to attack. That's the gist of it, and that's nothing unique about that. But the battle mechanics, the penalties, the skill system, it's just so convoluted, man. I can't even explain it. One day, I'll come back to this game, you know, and try to understand it. But the fact that I can't understand it, I understood other unique games, like some of your picks, like Baten Kaitos, you know, What else? Lost Kingdoms, you know, you also use cards in that game to fight in action combat, but those are easy to understand. Or some are hard to understand, but I managed to understand them. Me, I couldn't understand Phantasy Star Online Episode 3. And I don't even know why it was called online. Yes, you could play it online, but that was like totally different from the action RPGs. I don't know what the hell Sega was thinking with this game, but it's there, it exists in case you want to check it out. So, what about you guys? Okay, we mentioned the Battenkaitos, blah blah blah. Yeah. Someone mentioned Skies of Arcadia. Okay, the combat system is nothing unique, but I guess you got the ship battles, right? I'll give you that. And, oh, somebody mentioned Custom Robo. Yeah, well, it's basically action in a small arena. Not exactly what I would call unique. You know what else is very unique? The Yu-Gi-Oh! RPG in there. I think it's the False-Bound Kingdom. It's a strategy RPG. Not that unique because it's Yu-Gi-Oh! But it's, like, unique, right? Let's leave it at that. Moving on to the Wii. I picked a really obscure game no one ever talks about. No one. It's also on the PS Vita. But the one that I play for the most part is the Wii version. It's called Little King's Story. Have you guys ever heard of that? Yeah, I picked a lot of really obscure shit for today's video, okay? Because there's nothing like it. So, how to explain this game? You're basically a little kid who's become a king of an entire kingdom, you know, and you need to expand this kingdom. So it's a real-time strategy RPG, but it's also like real-time action. You go with the king and a bunch of minions, or soldiers, or farmers even, you know, for different missions. You know, if you want to farm something, you take the farmers with you. But if you want to kill enemies or protect the citizens, you know, you take soldiers with you. And they fight on their own. You're just behind them, like, giving them orders. It's really unique. And it's basically like a town kingdom simulator because you're expanding and building, so there's a lot of business micromanagement involved. This is fucking... I mean, this game... Most of you didn't play this game. I'm pretty sure you don't even know what I'm talking about. That's why it's so damn unique. Well, check it out. It's good, but it's kind of hard to get into, but it holds your hand. It gives you a lot of tutorials that are easy to understand and get into, so yeah. It's not such a difficult game. It's got a lot of influence from many other games. Someone just mentioned Pikmin. Yeah, it's got influence from a lot of games, you know, but it's a good combination. It's that very same combination that makes it so unique. That's my pick for the Wii. What about you guys? The Wii has a lot of really unique RPGs, so start shooting. RPGs! Pandora's Tower. I guess because of the motion controls and the chain, yeah, but if it wasn't for that, it will be like your average hack and slash. Opuna, yeah, maybe, it's unique, yeah. I mean, the battle system is not that unique, but it's unique, alright. Another really freaking obscure game, by the way, Opuna. I don't see Fragile Dreams as an RPG, but I guess for the people who do think of that game as an RPG, then yes, it's kind of unique. Actually, very unique. There's nothing story about the last. Nothing... There's... No. The last story, come on. Xenoblade Chronicles is a little bit more unique. No one's gonna mention Xenoblade Chronicles, really. It's not that unique, but... You know, that combat system is, like, unique, isn't it? Isn't it? Moving on to the Wii U, well, there's Xenoblade Chronicles X, right? How many JRPGs are there on the Wii U? Like, 3? And the others are, like, okay, you know? So, yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles X. Because of the battle mechanics and the, try to be like an MMORPG. That's the one game in the series that feels more like an MMORPG than an actual RPG. Actual, not action. But it's still action, right? So, can we all agree? Xenoblade... Yeah, we can all agree, right? Xenoblade Chronicles X. Let's move on to the Switch, people, with... I picked Fuga Melodies of Steel. Just think about it. Tell me an RPG that's like Fuga Melodies of Steel. Mention one. There's nothing like it. 2D, how you advance, you know, in the map, and you choose different routes, you know, in the map, you know, in your tank advancing, that little animation, you know, and then you get into the ruins exploration, you know, and that's nothing unique about that, but the fact that that's a feature in the game, it's unique. But the battle system is like, what? You know, you got this tank, and then 3 cannons, and then each cannon requires 2 kits, and you can switch between kits to change the strengths and weaknesses, the colors of the cannons, or the different cannons, you know. You want like Gatling gun? You got it, but you got to put these 2 kits that specialize in that specific Gatling gun cannon. Or you got this other cannon. And the enemies are like, they're weak or strong to something, depending on the cannon. It's like, what else is there? Come on, bring it up. And you got these kits that are like anthropomorphic creatures. Sure, there's not that unique, you know, but that's a cool storytelling about kids in a dark World War setting, you know, looking for their families. Like, I can't think of anything more unique than Fuga Melodies of Steel, sequel included on the Switch. What about you guys? Switch, 13 Sentinels. Yeah, I'm glad somebody mentioned that. That's it's not that unique, but yeah, I can see yeah, it's a very unique game. Cool mention. 13 Sentinels, definitely unique. What else on the Switch? Switch, you're mentioning games that aren't even on Switch. Why Octopath Traveler, man? No, I don't think so. But to each their own. Yeah, someone's mentioning Unicorn Overlord. Even though it's inspired by Ogre Battle, yeah, Unicorn Overlord, pretty unique. The Live Alive remake, but that's basically a Super Nintendo game, you know. But yeah, it's unique. The game's unique. Paper Mario? The origami whatever? I haven't played it though. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 has a really unique battle system, but it's merely an evolution of the previous 2. But yeah, it's unique. Astral Chain. Well, yeah, you control 2 characters at the same time with the chain. Yeah, that's unique. I'll give you that. But I think my pick is like the super freaking unique. There's nothing like Fuga Melodies of Steel. Alright? Anything else on Switch, guys? I haven't played Metal Slug Tactics, and I've seen some gameplay combat and shit, you know, but I just don't see the uniqueness. But I can't talk about it because I haven't played it. So that's it. That it? I think that's it, right? 7 Pirates Age? I haven't played that, but if you say so. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, let's move on to the Game Boy. For the Game Boy, there's barely anything unique, so I picked like Gargoyle's Quest. It's a spin-off of the Super Ghosts and Ghosts. And the gameplay is traditional 2D platforming, you know, but the game's got some strong RPG elements. You level up, you know, you kind of like gain experience, you know, you fight enemies, you get into battles. But you also got this town exploration. You go into town, top-down view, you talk to people, stuff like that, you know. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty unique for its time. Like, Gargoyle's Quest will be nothing special nowadays. But for a game that came out in, like, the early 90s on the Game Boy, and a spin-off of Super, like, Ghosts and Goblins and that, you know, I thought it was pretty unique, right? So that's the Game Boy. What about you guys? Like, okay, Gargoyle's Quest is a good game, but there's nothing really that unique about it. It's just that I couldn't find anything more unique than Gargoyle's Quest on the Game Boy. And, oh, come on, Pokemon? Really? Well, you're right, Terry. Pokemon, was pretty unique at a time. Yeah. I guess if we're gonna mention Pokemon, it's gotta be like the first ones on the Game Boy. Fine. Anything else? Legend of the River King? I've never played that one, so if you say so. Okay. We're talking about JRPGs. There's a Wizardry trilogy with English fan translation. Those are only in Japan games? I didn't know there was a Wizardry trilogy developed in Japan by Japanese developers. Wow, that's cool, man. Thanks for bringing that up. Cool. Moving on to the Game Boy Color, I picked a game called Metal Walker. It's a really unique video game. No one's ever heard of it, no one talks about it because it's not that great, but the battle system is like really unique. It's like this, like, I don't even know how to explain this, you know. It's a bit... Look at, I mean, I can't even explain it. It's the same case as, you know, with that other game that I mentioned, Phantasy Star Online 3. It was the same, like, I can't explain this battle mechanics. Have you guys heard about this game, Metal Walker? I'll admit it's got some Pokemon influence. Okay, you got these robots. It's actually kind of like Robot Trick on the Super Nintendo, but the battle system is like very different. You know, like a pool battle system, like a pool. And when I mean pool, I mean the game, not an actual swimming pool, okay? Yeah, that, so Metal Walker. I'm gonna show you the image because I'm pretty sure most of you don't even know this fucking game. Probably have never heard about it. Look at this. That's Metal Walker. This. So it's a bit like Pokemon, like you're a kid, you know, and you train your robot and whatnot, you know, but it's just the battle mechanics is what makes it so unique. Check it out, definitely. The game isn't, well, it might be great for some of you, but to be completely honest, I couldn't really get into it, but I found the gameplay, the battle mechanics, like super unique. Game Boy Color, okay? What, Devil Children, yeah, of course, but that's like Shin Megami Tensei, so it's not that unique. What else? Game Boy Color. No one's gonna mention Power Quest. Power Quest is basically a fighting game RPG. You go around town, talk to people, level up and whatever, but the battle system is like one-on-one fights. I guess it's not that unique because it's merely a fighting game. So we can move on to the Game Boy Advance, okay? With Yggdra Union, right there. I mean, that's the PSP version, you know, but originally Yggdra Union was released on the Game Boy Advance. There's just nothing more unique than Yggdra Union. It's one of the most complex JRPGs ever made. Very good, but very hard, very difficult. You basically control an army of characters, and every commander has their own soldiers. And you moving, even the grid-based system, you know, the movement system is like weird. Because you can like, if you move, you can move up, down, left or right, sure, whatever, you know, but you gotta move in like a specific map, and specific layers, you know, it's not like you have a bunch of squares around you, you can move to any of them, like in any regular grid-based RPG, so even that, even the map system is like really freaking convoluted, like complex, you know, and then you got the battle system, like, because if you move to north, sometimes your range can change and you can attack characters rather diagonally as opposed to your character, to your commander. So that's weird. So once you've get into the battle system, you know, you got this 2D fight out of your control. You can only increase or decrease the morale bar or something out there. The more you increase it, the more attack power you get, but less defense. And if you decrease it, it's like the other way around. More defense, less attack power, you know. And enemies, instead of having like a regular way, they do have an HP bar, right? But it's more about losing soldiers and losing morale, which you can influence. I don't know. I think there's been more RPGs kind of like this after it, but before it, like there was nothing like it. This is developed by Sting Entertainment, which are masters of difficulty, super hard games, but also super unique and creative games. Yggdra Union, super unique. I can't think of any other game like it. What about you guys? Game Boy Advance. JRPGs. Well, Boktai isn't something that I will call a JRPG, but I guess it kinda is. Yeah, it's unique. Yeah, the Boktai games. Okay, yeah. The battle system is nothing special in Boktai though, you know, but yeah, they make the gameplay mechanics very unique. Of course, Riviera. Riviera, The Promised Land by the same developer. Definitely. Sigma Star Saga isn't a JRPG. That's from the same studio who made Shantae. I'll give you that. Zone of the Enders was very unique. Not as unique as Yggdra Union though, but it is unique. Though I would like to say it's a Super Robot Tyson ripoff. Did someone say Golden Sun? Really? Not really Hong Luong. No. Langrisser is different. There's a Dynasty Warriors Tactics on the Game Boy Advance, I didn't know that. Aren't those PS2 games? They're also on Game Boy Advance? Dragon Force, similar to Yggdra Union. Yeah, but that's a Sega Saturn game. Yeah, it's unique. Boktai is unique. Nia Grow RPG, never heard of it. Come on, Shining Soul, unique. There's nothing unique about those games. That's as generic as you can get, man. Strongly disagree. But Magical Vacation, isn't that basically the prequel to Magical Star Sign? What's so unique about it? Well, anyway, let's move on to the Nintendo DS. Wow, this is where I have a lot of picks. Couldn't make up my mind before going live today. Damn. But I'm guessing a lot of you will bring up some of the others, right? Okay, so for the Nintendo DS, I am picking a game called Away Shuffle Dungeon, which I reviewed recently in another video. Away Shuffle Dungeon is a game a lot of people don't know. It's by Hironobu Sakaguchi. It's a little game that went under a lot of people's radars. It's very unique. Basically, you know, villagers are kidnapped and you play as this guy, you know, who wants to rescue them. But to rescue them, he needs to go into these shuffling dungeons, which are playing a top-down view perspective. And you gotta like move around between like very small labyrinths. But you got two screens on the DS, right? So if you move... I mean, one of the screens is going to start shuffling in a few seconds, so you gotta get out of there. Because if you stay there, you kind of like lose a life and go back to the previous screen. So once you've gone to a bunch of screens, you know, you exit. You need to find the exit. But it's really weird. Like, I can't think of any other game like this. Away Shuffle Dungeon with these gameplay mechanics. Like the shuffling, the dungeon is about to disappear and you need to get the hell out. That's so unique, right? And then you got your regular battle system, which is like average generic hack and slash, which is not great, you know, but it's there. But then once you get to the boss battles, they aren't played in these same stages. They're like 3D, completely in 3D, not in 2D anymore. In 3D now, and every boss is different. They have like different patterns, different things you need to memorize, or different things you need to do. You can attack with your sword, or you can like cast magic and stuff. So there's nothing that unique on the boss battles. But the fact that you got these boss battles, and then these gameplay mechanics, like the stages are like this, instead of going into an overworld and killing enemies, you gotta go into these places, these dungeons, you know, that shuffle. That's just so unique. That's my pick. What about you guys? Nintendo DS. Nights in the Nightmare, of course, of course. The Ni Gas RPG, I've never heard about it, man. Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story. I guess it's unique because, yeah, it has a lot of different gameplay mechanics and different battle mechanics and conditions during battle. Yeah, you may be onto something. Lunar Knights, because of the two characters. And they control it differently, and okay, yeah, Lunar Knights, pretty unique. What no one's gonna mention, Infinite Space. Have you guys played that by Sega? You know, that was my pick. But I think Away Shuffle Dungeon is a little bit more unique. But Infinite Space, yeah, super unique. What else? Nintendo DS. Room Factory. Well, yeah, okay, it was the first one. So okay, yeah, Room Factory. I see that no one's mentioning The World Ends With You. Okay. Endless Frontier, OG Saga. Yeah, pretty unique. Pretty unique. Radiant Historia. Solar to Robo, definitely. Solar to Robo, definitely unique. Not that unique, though, but unique. And Radiant Historia because of the battle system? Oh, thank you for bringing up Devil Survivor. Aren't you paying attention, Jum Jum? That's my pick. You're never paying attention, man. Moving on to the Nintendo 3DS. I have a game that most of you haven't heard of. It's called Concept Revolt. Exclusive to the 3DS. You see, the concept games are like basically RPGs where the battle mechanics are fought in a board game. Like you throw in dice and you go around and pull cards to buff or to summon creatures to fight by your side or for you. So, I mean, there's nothing like it. And the concept games are a series. I think the first one was originally released on PS1. I don't know, never left Japan. There's also one on the Xbox 360, which is just as unique. But I barely played that game. The one that I did play is on the 3DS. Not everybody's gonna get into this game. It's really weird, but it plays like a board game, but with so many penalties and conditions. It's not your average board game. It's really unique and weird, which is why I think it's the most unique. There's nothing like this game. You got your like average storytelling, and your story, blah blah blah, but whatnot. But the gameplay mechanics are basically done within this place. And you also have these battle mechanics between the cards, or basically between the monsters or characters you summon to fight beside you, or for you, So it's got everything. Turn-based combat, board. I mean, there's nothing. This game is the poster child for unique JRPGs. But I'm pretty sure not a single one of you have played it. That's the most unique. Doesn't mean it's like super great, but it's great. It's good. What about you guys? Project Cross Zone. Definitely unique. That was originally going to be my pick, but I think like Concept Revolt is like more unique. But yeah, Project Cross Zone definitely. Bravely Default, I don't think so, but okay. What's so unique about Etrian Odyssey? It's just dungeon crawling and turn-based combat. There's nothing unique about those. Lord of Magna, that was also going to be my pick. Definitely unique, especially because of the battle system. Ever Oasis, I see the uniqueness, but not really. But okay, it could work. What else? 3DS JRPGs. Come on, Kingdom Hearts, no. Strange Journey, I don't think so. Crimson Shroud, somebody brought that up. Sure, it's nothing special because turn-based combat, but it's a convoluted combat with dice involved. It's like, yeah, Crimson Shroud by level 5, believe it or not. That's a digital-only game. Very unique. Is Kid Icarus an RPG? I don't know. I've never played a 3DS game. Is it an RPG? I don't know. Fantasy Life because of all the simulation? Okay. Maybe. Alright, we're done with Nintendo. Are you guys ready to move on to PlayStation? I am. And of course, we're gonna start with the PS1. And I picked Suikoden. Sure, again, like some of my other picks from previous consoles, it may not be that unique nowadays, but think about it. Back in the day, there was nothing like it. Suikoden's influences include Dragon Quest V, Destiny of an Emperor, and Civilization. So you get a mix of a lot of influence with Yoshitaka Murayama, rest in peace. But the fact that he created something like Suikoden with 3 battle systems, you got your regular battle system but with 6 party members, which was unusual for its time. The runes and all that jazz, that's nothing unique about that. But the duels. What other RPGs were there with like regular duels? And with the HP bars like in a fighting game. But it's still turn-based. And then you got the strategy battles, which in the first Suikoden was different. There was no grid-based combat. It was just this choosing commands, and the enemies will battle it out alone. And different strengths and weaknesses involved. So, okay, maybe Suikoden is a very influential game, the first one. And it became its own series, and a lot of people know it, and it may not be that unique for you nowadays, but try to close your eyes, teleport back to 1996. There was nothing like Suikoden. So what about you guys? Parasite Eve, thanks man, that was my choice. It's written here. It was either Parasite Eve or Suikoden, but I picked Suikoden, but Parasite Eve definitely. Vagrant Story, absolutely. Pretty unique. Xenogears, sure, because you got 2 battle systems and turn-based but are different. Yeah, Xenogears. Wild Arms, I'm not sure, but okay. Sugma Arise, never heard about it. Is it Sigma or Sogma? I never heard about it, man. Digimon World is your pick. I don't know if you're trolling or not, but it's got some unique features to it. The first one, it's kind of bad, but yeah, definitely Kudelka. Valkyrie profile, I don't think it's that unique, but there you go. We can do that. Okay, there's so many. Oh, we've gotten to you. You guys have more interest on PlayStation, now I see that. Someone mentioned Legend of Legaia. Well, yeah, sure. I'll accept that. Alright, moving on to the PlayStation 2, guys. I picked, of course, Valkyrie Profile 2 Silmeria. It's not a coincidence that it's my favorite JRPG on the PS2. But what else is there? Look at that battle system. There's nothing like it. Nothing. And I've explained this before. I just did an entire podcast based on this game alone. So I'm not gonna go overboard with a game that I've covered to death. But just this battle system, there's nothing like it. I'm guessing you're tired of seeing me talk about the battle mechanics of this game, so let's just move on straight to your picks. What about you guys? Radiata Stories? Because you can recruit... No, I don't think so. Radiata Stories is basically action Suikoden, action RPG Suikoden. I love that fucking game though, but I don't think it's unique. Art on Helico? Sure, maybe, yeah. Because of the gameplay mechanics, definitely not because of the battle system. I'll admit Final Fantasy XII is unique because it was like a different battle mechanic and it was like an MMORPG. It was one of the first of its kind, so yeah. And Breath of Fire Dragon Quarter, definitely. It's bad! But that's a really unique video game. Shadow Hearts because of the Judgment Ring? Maybe. Oh, I also missed Mega Man Battle Network on the Game Boy Advance section, Sora. You're so right about that, and I wrote it down. It's there in my honorable mention. But we missed it, we're on PS2 right now. La Pucelle Tactics. Yes, yes, definitely unique. Well, Xenosaga, not really, but... Wild Arms 4 because of the battle system? Maybe. No one's gonna mention Steambot Chronicles, probably because no one played it, but that's a really unique video game. And no one's mentioned Orphan Scion of Sorcery, because it's such a forgettable game, but check it out, you know, it's very unique. Okay, there's more. When it comes to the PS2, we can go on forever, man. Yggdrayonism, that it's there, man. We already talked about it. Okay, guys, moving on to the PlayStation 3. What can I say? Natural Doctrine. I hate that game. It's horrible, it's terrible, but it's just so unique. Here, however, I can explain the battle system a little bit. You basically have this combination of like XCOM, Valkyria Chronicles-like features, you know. But to be honest, you know, it's done in such a convoluted way and difficult that sometimes you die for no reason, and it isn't even your fault. It's all about positioning your characters behind walls, you know, so you can attack, or behind each other to act as shields. And you got this grid-based movement, but these are large grids, and a lot of characters can be on the same grid at the same time, and they can execute different attacks. And sometimes when enemies approach you, you know, you gotta like kill them or break their guard, you know, so you can move on. There's also a lot of environment damage, you know, you can like shoot a rock so it can fall and hurt the enemies, or you have to like break it down so you can go into that particular area. So yeah, it sounds fun, right? No, it's not. It's a bad game. It's terrible. Great ideas, all of them terribly executed. It sucks, and I'm done talking about it, you know, but it's really unique. There's nothing like it. What about you guys? PlayStation 3. Yes, Time and Eternity. Horrible game, but the battle system is pretty unique. Dark Souls unique? Seriously? Arno Surge? Yes, Arno Surge. Definitely, that battle system is pretty unique. Plus, the Art on Helico series are like really unique. Anyway. White Knight Chronicles 1 and 2? Yes, you know, not that unique, but yeah. Just Final Fantasy XII did it before, you know. But White Knight Chronicles is more like Xenoblade, yeah. Ni no Kuni, yeah, because you summon your little creatures, and yeah, I'll give you that. Folklore, somebody mentioned Folklore, that's a really unique video game. That was my pick, but I changed it for Natural Doctrine because it's just more unique. Resonance of Fate, of course, Resonance of Fate, super unique game. Near Gestalt. It's unique in terms of storytelling, I'll give you that. Alright, moving on to the PlayStation 4. This is my pick. This is my pick for the PlayStation 4. Zanki Zero. There's nothing like it. Sure, you're gonna give me the, well, that's a dungeon crawler in first person. Sure, you know, but the battle system is action. It isn't turn-based. It's action. It's weird because sometimes you can attack with only one character with the triggers, and other times you gotta, like, attack with them all if you want to, and move around. You gotta dodge. In moving on grids, and you gotta dodge the enemy's attacks. So what other turn-based, what other dungeon crawler does that? But let's not forget about the unique storytelling. Characters trapped in a place, and apparently they're all dead. And it's also a survival game, not a survival horror. Well, actually, there are some horror elements, but it's more of a survival game about people facing off their psychological issues and their past. But survival as in, you know, you go around, you gotta, like, drink water and eat food, otherwise you starve. Characters also grow old at some point, and there's nothing you can do to stop that. You gotta, like... and also, one of the weirdest things about this game is that when a character gets old, really old, they die and they are reborn in an arcade machine. I don't know what's your definition of unique, but this game takes the cake. What about you guys? PlayStation 4. Really? Bloodborne? Dragonstar Varnir. Definitely. Definitely unique. Not that unique, but definitely. Mato Anomalies is in a JRPG. JRPGs, no indie RPGs here. Come on, PS4, you got a lot of fucking games. Redemption Reapers, no, Yum Yum, but the Diofield Chronicle, definitely. We don't see a lot of real-time strategy games like that. Definitely the Diofield Chronicle. What else? We already mentioned Resonance of Fate. It is on PS4, digital, by the way. But we already mentioned that one, so yeah. Scarlet Nexus? Sure, yeah. It's not that unique, but it's a bit unique. Yakuza Like a Dragon. Yeah, it is. Not that unique though, but yeah, it is. Nier Automata, because you have the hack and slash parts and the shoot 'em up parts. Maybe. Uniqueness is death. No, it isn't. There's a lot of unique JRPGs on PS4. I actually had a lot of issues choosing my game, but there's nothing more. I mean, Zangi Zero takes the cake, man. But there are others, you know. No one's gonna mention, I don't know, Sakuna of Rise and Ruin, 2D combat, and then the farming simulation. Never mind. Yeah, there's a lot of them. Come on. Yeah. No one's gonna mention Mist Over. No one knows that freaking game, so no. Star Ocean 5, really? Nah. Come on. Exist Archive because of its combat mechanics and well, it's like Valkyrie Profile, so yes, but not really because it's been done before. But yeah, I guess. Okay, so we're done with PS4? Harry Skelter? No, it's just... No, I don't think so. It's Etrian Odyssey. It's wizardry. Okay, Mary Skelter could work, I guess. That's funny, Sora. Fine, we're done with PS4. Wait a second. Moving on to the PlayStation 5. I picked Cards RPG. Okay, that's just really unique. You get this roguelike RPG with randomly generated dungeons, but the battles are on grid-based combat, like in a strategy RPG. You move on grids, but then you get to the battle system. Once you antagonize an enemy, once you face an enemy, you get into this 2D combat, turn-based, with cards, where you gotta select several cards, you know, one at a time to fight, and you can only use up to 3, I remember, or 5, but the enemy counters in a very different way than you. With their own cards, you know, of course. But there's also this unique system of the cards, like, they can be used for a lot of things, like to choose guard, similar to Baten Kaitos, you know. But you don't gotta choose them like real quickly, like in Baten Kaitos. You can take your time and select your cards. And there's an action points bar, you know, and all of these cards have an action points. they use points of the bar, you know, so you only get to choose so many, because if you, for example, you've got like 5 action points and you got 2 cards that cost like 2 points, you only be able to use those 2 cards. So I don't know, it's not like super unique, but it is unique. The combination of roguelike, the combination of grid-based strategy combat, and then the cards battle system, like in one-on-one. It's not like in other games where you got your party fighting against another party. No, it's just one-on-one combat. So it lasts for a few turns. I don't know, I found that game to be pretty unique, and it's developed by Acquire, the developers of Octopath Traveler. It came out several months ago, this very same year. Give that game a chance, it's pretty unique. PS5. So what about you guys? Yeah, but Black Myth Wukong is a Chinese game. That's not really a Japanese word. Stellar Blade, come on. Great game, but there's nothing unique about it. Voice of Cards, definitely unique. Yeah, also with cards, but with regular turn-based combat and dice involved. Yeah, definitely unique. Dude, don't you get tired of your jokes? Where you suck my ass, suck my dick. Like, come on, you like... Come on, man. I'm tired of your dumbass. I mean, it was funny for a while, but I mean, come on. Fuck off. JRPGs. Unicorn Overlord. Yeah, it's also on PS5. But Fallen Legion is an indie game. We're sticking this to JRPGs. No indies. No Western. No Chinese either. And what's unique about Black Myth Wukong anyway? Well, I haven't played it. 13 Sentinels isn't on PS5. It's on PS4 and Switch. Monochrome Mobius, isn't that like a Grandia ripoff? A really good one when it comes to battle mechanics. Grand Blue Fantasy, there's nothing unique. Come on, guys. Well, I can't blame you. Most of you don't have a PS5. And the PS5 doesn't have that many JRPGs that aren't already on PS4, so... anything else on PS5? No, really? How is Final Fantasy 16 unique? That's a fucking Devil May Cry shameless ripoff, man. It's bad. There's nothing unique about that piece of shit. Edge of Eternity could be, but that's an indie game. Not a JRPG. Banishers? Never heard about it. Are you sure that's a JRPG though? You haven't even played it, then why bring it up? Soul Hack... No, I don't think Soul Hackers is unique. Might as well say Shin Megami Tensei 5 at this point. Persona 5, that's unique. Well, hey, Persona 5 has gameplay mechanics that are unique from this series, you know? And it influenced... all the others are basically ripoffs. Well, okay, we're done with PS5. I can't blame you guys for not having a PS5 or not being more knowledgeable. It's still fucking expensive. And go to hell, Sony, with your PS5. Oh, let's go portable now. We're moving on to the PSP. Well, I picked Nights in the Nightmare. I didn't choose that on Nintendo DS, so I'm picking it once right now on the PSP. Yeah, nothing comes close to that game. You got this combat that nowadays I understand a little bit better. I still hated this game. I still think it's bad. Not that bad as I thought before, but it's bad. So you control various characters. Like in they're stationary, they can't move. But you can move their range to attack different enemies around. But you got these spheres that you gotta avoid with your own sphere. You not only control the characters in the battle system, which is grid-based, you also control this little light, this floating sphere, and you gotta dodge these bullets, you know? Because if they hurt you and they kill you, it's game over, believe it or not. That's the best I can do. It's still a really convoluted, complex game, and I don't recommend it. But actually I do recommend it, so you can check it out and decide for yourself if it's good or not. But if you want to see what I consider to be as the most complex JRPG of all time and most unique, this is not only the most unique JRPG on the PSP, this is the king of today's video, the most unique JRPG of all time that I played in my life. And I don't like it. What about you guys? PSP. Black Rock Shooter, definitely You got these shooting mechanics that, yeah, definitely unique. Some of your picks. Stop trolling, come on. Take it seriously, for the sake of the video. Grow Lancer Wayfarer of Time. Well, it's the 4th title in the series, but yeah, it's still unique. Princess Crown, because it's only in Japan, but that's a Sega Saturn game, but yeah, it counts, I guess. I'll give you this, Crisis Core, it has some unique features to it, so I'll give you that. Valkyria Chronicles 2 and 3. Yes, definitely. Anything else? Half Minute Hero, definitely very unique game, very fun game by the way, much better than Night in the Nightmare, and far easier to get into. Really fun game. No, Jeanne d'Arc, no, there's nothing unique about Jeanne d'Arc. Stop bringing that game up. Might as well say Final Fantasy Tactics, yeah, super unique. Uniquely French, Brave Story, nah, we're done. PSP, that's it for PSP. And moving on to the PS Vita, since I already picked Natural Doctrine on PS3, this time I'm picking Trillion God of Destruction. This is a game by Idea Factory, and it's developed by some of the guys from the Disgaea team. So it has a lot of Disgaea vibes to it, but basically you play as this, well, the protagonist is this overlord who's lost a battle against Trillion, the God of Destruction, and he's coming closer to destroy the entirety of the underworld. So the protagonist has to train, he has a harem, you know, he's got to train his girls, and there's a training system with like really small short mini games that you gotta complete to train these girls and level up, but you can also send them in rogue-like grid-based dungeons to train and level up and get items and shit. But it's all about getting to that one, the end of a chapter, which is the end of that girl's life. Yeah, unfortunately, she's gonna have to die to be the first one to do a lot of damage to Trillion, the God of Destruction. Which is, the battle system also plays in there like in a roguelike, but not a roguelike, more like grid-based. And you gotta like get as close as you can, avoiding enemies and avoiding traps to Trillion to hurt him. And once you die, that's it. Moving on to the next chapter with the next girl that you gotta train. That dude, super unique. Super unique. What about you guys? Speaking about unique games, we're listening to some Boktai music right now. Alright, what about you guys? Grand Kingdom, definitely unique. Definitely, that was gonna be my pick. Criminal Girls, yes, it has an unusual battle system and, you know, kinky mechanics. Yeah, it's unique. Mind Zero, maybe? I don't think so, maybe? Again, Mary Skelter, I don't think so. Oh, somebody mentioned Exist Archive. We mentioned that before. Why do you guys think that game is so unique, though? I don't see it. Maybe because I'm a big fan of Valkyrie Profile, you know? But yeah, I guess if you forget about Valkyrie Profile, Exist Archive could be... Okay, I understand. Another troll here. Kinky mechanic. You probably already know what I mean, Terry. Don't ask. This guy just changed to another username to keep on trolling with his stupid names. Can't believe it. Corpse Party is an RPG. The first Corpse Party game is an RPG, but not really. Alright. You know, let's move on. We're done with PlayStation. Fuck. We're done with PlayStation. We're gonna go with Sega and starting off with the Master System. There's barely anything unique on that when it comes to JRPG, so I picked Spellcaster, which is a platformer. You know, the platforming part, side-scrolling is average, but you got these investigations going on at town when you talk to some NPCs and you gotta figure out where to go and what to do. That little part, that little gameplay mechanic, I found it unique. But well, it's just the beginning of, you know, the third generation of gaming. There's barely anything unique in there, so that's the best I could come up with. Anyway, moving on to the Sega Genesis, here's one. It's called Uncharted Waters New Horizons. It's also on Super Nintendo. Man, it's a sequel to Uncharted Waters on the NES. You are basically controlling. You can choose between several characters, each with their own like stories and different agendas and stuff. So you pick one and you go to different towns, to different port towns, to basically buy. Well, you can either become a merchant or a pirate, depending on your actions. You can buy like materials, or rice or stuff like that and sell it to other towns and stuff like that. But you also gotta take care of your ship, and there's customization for your ship, and once you go into battle, you start navigating the seas, trying to find whatever it is you're aiming for, merchant, commerce, piracy, stuff like that. And then you get into this grid-based combat, which is pretty unique. You move on regular grids, but not like in Fire Emblem, it's just like you move. It's kind of like Idra Union. You move, and if you're close to certain enemies, you can attack diagonally or in front of you or beside you or stuff like that, And once you get into the battles, it's kind of like the characters fight amongst themselves, kind of like in Langrisser. But there may be, once you face the commander, you get into some kind of duel a la Suikoden. Wow. Should I go on? I mean, you can tell it's really freaking unique, and there's nothing unique more than that. So that's the Sega Genesis. No one's gonna mention Sorcerer's Kingdom, probably because nobody played it. The Genesis wasn't really known for its uniqueness when it comes to JRPGs, so let's move on to the Sega CD. Again, there's barely any JRPGs that we get outside of Japan that we got. I picked Dark Wizard. It's you moving hexagons instead of grids. Does that count? And when you fight with an enemy, you also get these like duels, one-on-one fights. I found it to be pretty unique. For its time, Dark Wizard is a unique game, but not that unique. And it's a campaign-driven game, kind of like Brigandine. Have you heard of Brigandine on PS1? And there's also a game on PS4. You probably haven't. But yeah, anyway, Dark Wizard, you choose between different characters, 4 I think, and they all have their own stories, and they're basically commanders, but they can also fight. You can recruit a lot of monsters, So yeah, it's been overdone, but Dark Wizard was one of the first ones to do it. So there you go, Sega CD. Yeah, let's move on. Let's move on to the Sega Saturn. Well, I'm picking Panzer Dragoon Saga because it's very unique. The battle system is turn-based, but everything happens on real time. And you're riding your dragon, and you fight. In that, you fight like different dragons, different enemies, sometimes battleships, stuff like that, And you gotta choose your actions on real time too. So in reality, if you think about it, there's nothing that special about this battle system, but first and foremost, it's an RPG based on Panzer Dragoon, which were on-rail shooters. And there are some parts where the missions are kind of like on-rail, but the battle system is what stands out the most. It's like hard to describe, but it's also kind of simple. It's not complex or convoluted. You get into it easily. And that's it. You basically choose actions, and everything happens in real time. Reminds me a little bit of Infinite Space, now that I think about it. But there we go. So that's my pick for the Sega Saturn. What about you guys? We already know it's a super expensive game. Dragon Force, definitely unique for its time. I should have picked that one, but I didn't for some reason. Can I change my pick to Dragon Force though? Nah, it's too late. I already picked Panzer Dragoon Saga. But when it comes to... Whenever we do these videos, I feel like those are usually my picks for everything. Panzer Dragoon Saga, Dragon Force. Sakura Wars, we didn't get those games, but they were pretty unique for their time, of course. Somebody already mentioned Princess Crown, only in Japan game. Grandia? Well, you should have mentioned that game on the PS1, but yeah, it's also on the Sega Saturn, and yeah, the battle system is kind of unique, I'll give you that. Okay, moving on to the Sega Dreamcast, I picked a game called Time Stalkers. It's basically a crossover between some of the characters and franchise from a developer that was previously called Matrix Software, who created the Landstalker. So it's basically a Landstalker crossover. We only got one game though, but there were like several games in there. This is it's weird because you are basically playing in some kind of roguelike. You explore randomly generated dungeons, but then they're full of traps and puzzles and whatnot. But the battle system is like on grids, but it's turn-based. I wouldn't call this a strategy RPG because you get into random battles and the battle screen is small, like in Rhapsody. Okay, Rhapsody, a musical adventure, it's kind of like that. It's not really a strategy RPG, it's a turn-based RPG. And that's basically it. You fight, you have your skills, you blah blah blah. So It's not that unique, but then again, the Dreamcast wasn't really known for its JRPGs, much less for its unique JRPGs. So that's my pick. What about you guys? Dreamcast? We already mentioned Grandia, so it's pointless to mention Grandia 2. It's just like Grandia 1, like, no. Elemental Gimme Gear, isn't that on PlayStation? Is that on Dreamcast too? Didn't know that. Shenmue isn't what I will call an RPG though. But that's just my opinion. Yeah. Well, I'll mention a game called Egg. Elemental... Oh, that's the one you mean! I thought about the other game. Yeah, Melf, it's definitely Elemental Gimme Gear, also known as Egg. It's an average action RPG though. There's nothing that unique about it. It's more unique about its style, graphical style, you know, and yeah, exploration. But yeah, I'll give you that. It's unique. Record of Lodoss War, not what I will call unique. I think Evolution is a little bit more unique. And not really at the same time, but there you go. There's nothing worth mentioning on the Game Gear. Unless you want to bring up Defenders of Oasis because it's turn-based combat like Dragon Quest. No, there's no... Fuck the Game Gear. No unique JRPGs. It's got some, but not unique. Xbox. Moving on to Xbox. We're done with Sega. Xbox, the first one. There's nothing unique about it. No one cares about the Xbox, so let's move on straight to the Xbox 360 with Resonance of Fate. That's a really unique game. It was an honorable mention by you guys in the PS3. So you got this... It's not in that game. It's not just the battle system, you know. Sure, you got your battle mechanic, you got your like regular exploration in town, but when you go to the overworld, you gotta like put these freaking hexes to move. Like, why? I hate that. But it's unique. No other game does that to you. You wanna move to the next town or to the next area, you gotta like have points to spend or money or something. I don't even remember what. Spend on the hexes. Like what? You know, that's really unique for starters. And then the battle system is like you got it's turn-based. But you gotta like position your characters so they get the better aim, and then once they start their turn, you know, they go into this crazy ass acrobatics. It's just freaking weird. There's nothing like Resonance of Fate, man. It's just a really unique video game. I don't like it, but that does not take its uniqueness away. What about you guys? Xbox 360, The Last Remnant, of course. Operation Darkness, sure. Yeah, it's a bit unique. Eternal Sonata was also going to be my pick. But Resonance of Fate is more unique though. But Eternal Sonata, definitely. Enchanted Arms, of course. It's not that unique, but yes. And that's it for the 360. Moving on with the Xbox One, I picked Valkyria Chronicles 4. Simply because we didn't pick Valkyria Chronicles on PS3 or other systems. I didn't. You guys did, but I didn't. So there's nothing like Valkyria Chronicles. Unfortunately, the first Valkyria Chronicles is not on Xbox, you know, but Valkyria Chronicles 4 is, so there you go. Alright, so I covered these games before, the battle mechanics, you know, it's just really unique. There's nothing like it. It influenced XCOM. Some of the most popular XCOM games were influenced by Valkyria Chronicles, you know, so you got your roster of characters, each with their own turn, each with their own class, you know, each with a different movement range, you know. And once you go around, while it's turn-based, if the enemy notices you, they will start firing you on real time. You got your snipers, you know, it's just, you know these games already. I don't even need to explain them. Great battle mechanics, excellent games, all of them, but there's only one on the Xbox One. Well, there's also Valkyria Revolution, right? But that's not really unique. Valkyria Chronicles for Xbox One. Yeah, sure, Yakuza Like a Dragon, of course. We already mentioned that one. Unicorn Overlord is also there, by the way. Which is my pick for the Xbox Series X. Unicorn Overlord. Yeah, so it's basically like Ogre Battle. You got your commanders that you move around on real time to liberate places or to conquer bases, or you know how it works on real time. But if you make contact with an enemy, this 2D battle starts, and unlike in Ogre Battle, you can actually, you know, control your characters in turn-based combat, but not directly. They each you choose commands, but they each act on their own, you know, which also makes it special. This game is basically a love letter to Ogre Battle, and it also has some Fire Emblem influence to it because you go around like recruiting a tons of characters, you know, most of them like story quest driven, you know. So yeah, it's Unicorn Overlord. great freaking game. That's the most unique JRPG I can think of on the Xbox Series X. Because I didn't pick it on PS5 or PS4 or Switch. It's here, it needed to be mentioned. It's such an excellent game, one of the best Vanillaware games. Definitely check this game out. That's it for the Xbox Series X. And I think we're done! Unless you want to talk about Neo Geo and TurboGrafx. Yeah! That's it, everybody. Thank you very much for participating in today's video. I will edit this video as soon as I can, and you will be able to watch it fully edited with your picks and mine on my YouTube channel. That's it, everybody. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and share this video with your friends. And thanks again for being a part of it. You guys rock. See you next time. It's done. We're done with the video. It took forever, like an entire hour. But yeah, that's it, everybody. That's it. That's also it for the Q&A, by the way. TurboGrafx. I was gonna pick Exile, you know, 2D action platforming in hack and slash, but you got your top-down view over world map exploration, and you gotta do investigations. It could have worked, but I think when I get to the TurboGrafx, most people don't give a shit about it, sadly. They should, it's a great console. Yeah, but anyway, that's it for the Q&A, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you on the next one with a Versus episode, of course. Thanks for watching. Take care.